what changed? Why are so many women all of a sudden open to this? And why were they afraid of it to begin with? Well, the FDA started removing the black box warning for most menopausal HRT products. The warning had been sitting on the HRT products for over 20 years, linking them to increases in cardiovascular disease and breast cancer, stroke and dementia. But here's the thing, the FDA reviewed some newer data and they concluded that warning was misleading. The original risks were based on study data that had gotten applied to all women across the board, when it really depends on the individual. So the FDA said, we need to move away from these broad warnings and shift to a model that's more individualized, based on the individual patient. Everything shared on this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. As a nurse practitioner, my role here is to solely act as an educator, not your personal healthcare provider. Accessing this content does not create a patient-provider relationship between you, me, or Blue Zone Health and Wellness. Always consult with your personal healthcare provider for any medical decisions or before starting any treatments. Let's get to it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Data Driven Health RX podcast. So quick thing before we jump into this episode. This is actually a re-record of the episode. I had a hell of a time trying to get this on video. I was really hoping to put out some video content with this go around, but I had some trouble with the video matching to the audio and different file types. So I'm not a tech guy. I did my best, but all right, let's get into this episode. We're going to be talking about female hormone replacement therapy. And the reason I wanted to do this episode is because we're seeing some things that are pretty interesting happening right now. More women than ever are seeking out HRT. They are doing their own research. As you know, there's a wealth of information out there. They're asking their questions and they're pushing back on being told to just deal with their symptoms. So that's a huge shift from where things were even just a few years ago. The days of walking into your medical provider's office and just being accepting of what you're told without questioning, those days are over. That doesn't happen anymore. Women are taking an active role in their health, and I think that's a great thing. NBC News, they ran a story earlier this month about estrogen patches, and they mentioned how they're hard to find for menopausal women. Women across the country who made the decision to start HRT, they're going to their pharmacies and they're being told, sorry, we don't have it right now. And that tells you something. That's how much things have shifted. Women are no longer avoiding this HRT conversation. They're driving it. And now pharmacies are having a hard time keeping up with that demand. Today, what I want to get into is how we got here, the research and what it actually says, and what you should know if this applies to you or someone that you care about. So what changed? Why are so many women all of a sudden open to this? And why were they afraid of it to begin with? Well, last November, the FDA started removing the black box warning for most menopausal HRT products. And for those that don't know, a black box warning is the strongest warning that the FDA puts on a medication. So the warning had been sitting on the HRT products for over 20 years, linking them to increases in cardiovascular disease and breast cancer, stroke and dementia. So a lot of women never had the conversation because of that warning, and a lot of providers wouldn't touch it. But here's the thing, the FDA reviewed some newer data and they concluded that warning was misleading. The original risks were based on study data that had gotten applied to all women across the board, when it really depends on the individual. So the timing matters, how you take it matters, the dose matters, and even the type of hormone matters. So the FDA said, we need to move away from these broad warnings and shift to a model that's more individualized, based on the individual patient. Now, to be clear, they did not say that HRT is risk-free. There's still a warning for endometrial cancer with unopposed estrogen in women with a uterus. That hasn't changed. But the broad class warnings about heart disease and breast cancer, stroke, and dementia, those have been removed for most of the HRT products. So the estrogen, progesterone, and combination therapies. And that's a massive shift. The old message was HRT is dangerous and you should avoid it. unless absolutely necessary. And the new message is HRT risk is individualized. Evaluate the patient, the timing, the route, and the dose. So to understand why that warning even existed in the first place, we need to go back to a study that started all of it. In 2002, there was a massive study called the Women's Health Initiative. It's known as the WHI. And this trial, it made headlines everywhere. It was the largest randomized trial ever done on hormone replacement therapy in postmenopausal women. But the researchers ended up stopping the trial early because they were seeing an increase in breast cancer, heart disease, stroke, and blood clots. So the message that went out to the public was very clear. HRT is dangerous. Don't take it. And immediately, the HRT prescriptions, they dropped. Medical providers stopped recommending it, and women who were on it, they panicked and they ended up getting off of it. So an entire generation of women were told, just deal with your symptoms. What you're feeling is normal. But here's what didn't make the headlines. That study had some serious problems, and they matter when you look at those results and what they're telling us. So let's start with the hormones that they used. The hormones in the study were not bioidentical. They gave women an estrogen called conjugated equine estrogen, and they paired it with a synthetic version of progesterone. So these are actually completely different compounds than what we use today. And even the authors of the study acknowledged it. The original paper actually stated that bioidentical estradiol with progesterone, which more closely mimics what the body produces, it may have a completely different risk profile. The line was in the study, but it just got buried under the scary headlines. And on top of that, the women in this study, most of them were over a decade past menopause. Many of them had already had pre-existing health conditions like obesity and diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. So taking those results and applying them to a healthy 50-year-old woman who's just entering menopause doesn't really make sense. And then there's timing. When the researchers went back and they looked specifically at women who started HRT within the first decade after menopause, so the younger and healthier women, the results were actually favorable. There was reduced heart disease and lower overall mortality. The problem wasn't HRT itself. The problem was giving it to the wrong population at the wrong time with the wrong hormones. And here's what's crazy. Since the WHI, the research has completely shifted. In 2022, a study came out that looked over 7 million menopausal women. And these weren't women who had just started HRT. Many of them were over 65, and some of them had been on hormones for 15 years or longer. And what they found was that estrogen therapy was associated with a 20% reduction in all-cause mortality. So then there was another study. They followed it up, and with an even larger study, 10 million women, same findings. There was about a 19% reduction in the overall mortality risk. And both studies showed that bioidentical estrogen performed better than the synthetic versions. So we went from the WHI scaring everyone away from hormones to now having data on millions of women showing that when they're used correctly, HRT is actually protective. And that's a massive shift in the evidence. And it's a big part of why we're seeing so many women asking about this now. So female HRT is about giving your body back the hormones that it's running low on or has stopped making altogether. And for females, we're talking about mainly three. It's progesterone, estradiol, and testosterone. Now, at some point, you enter perimenopause. It's not mainly about losing estrogen, it's about losing progesterone, because what happens is progesterone, it falls off a cliff, essentially, while estrogen goes haywire. It spikes, it crashes, and it goes all over the place. So what ends up happening is you end up with way more estrogen relative to the progesterone, and that imbalance is what's driving symptoms for a lot of these women, like the hot flashes and the night sweats and anxiety, brain fog, weight gain, irritability. And that's not a minor inconvenience. That's your entire quality of life getting turned upside down. So then menopause hits. Officially, that's 12 consecutive months without a period, and now both hormones are gone, both progesterone and estradiol. At this point, bone density starts to drop, cardiovascular risk goes up, cognitive decline can accelerate, and your body is basically aging faster without these hormones. So when I talk about HRT, I'm not talking about something cosmetic. We're not, crafting bodybuilders or anything. I'm talking about protecting your heart, protecting your brain and protecting your bones. Everyone thinks estrogen when it comes to female hormones. And estrogen matters, but progesterone rarely comes up, and that's a huge miss. Because here's what progesterone actually does. It calms your nervous system. It helps you sleep. It reduces anxiety by supporting GABA in your brain, which is your brain's natural calming system. It's anti-inflammatory. It protects against breast cancer and uterine cancer by keeping estrogen's effects in check. It supports bones, your cardiovascular system, your thyroid. It's a heavy hitter. It does a lot of heavy lifting. So when it drops, which is exactly what happens in perimenopause and in menopause, that's when women start feeling anxiety that they've never experienced before. That's when sleep becomes a battle and weight shows up in places that it never showed up before. How many women have walked into a medical provider's office with these exact symptoms? I can't sleep. I'm anxious. I'm irritable. I have brutal PMS. And then they walk out with a prescription for an antidepressant or birth control. Nobody even checked their progesterone. They didn't even bring it up. Bioidentical progesterone, not synthetic progestins, a completely different thing. They've been shown to improve sleep, reduce anxiety, improve bone density, and lower the risk of certain cancers. Let's talk about estradiol. Your body actually makes 3 different types of estrogen. Estradiol is the strongest and most active of the 3. It's the primary estrogen that your body makes in your reproductive years. So when we're talking about estrogen replacement, we're mainly talking about estradiol because that's the one that does the heavy lifting. So when it's in balance, it's protective, supports heart health, bone density, brain function, skin and urinary health. It plays a role in all of it. So estradiol is not the enemy. It just needs to be balanced with progesterone. That's the key. Estrogen by itself, if it's unopposed, that can be problematic. But when you use bioidentical estradiol alongside bioidentical progesterone, the research tells a completely different story. Now, here's one thing that doesn't get enough attention when it comes to female hormones. I mentioned testosterone earlier. When most people hear testosterone, they think of men, but women make testosterone too. It's not as much, but they still need it. And when it drops, which actually happens naturally with age, especially around menopause and perimenopause, it affects a lot more than most people realize. Testosterone in women is protective. It supports bone density. It supports brain function. It supports your mood and energy levels. And there's some data that's showing that it's protective against breast tissue as well. A lot of women in perimenopause and menopause deal with low libido and fatigue and loss of muscle mass, brain fog, and that just doesn't seem to go away even if other hormones are being addressed. So a lot of time, testosterone could be the missing piece. And like I said, we're not talking about bodybuilder levels here. We're talking about restoring what the body used to make on its own, and it's just no longer producing at the levels that it needs. So when dosed appropriately, testosterone can actually make a real difference in how a woman feels day to day. And it's something that should be part of the conversation when we talk about female HRT. I keep using the word bioidentical, so let me explain exactly what that means. Bioidentical hormones, they're derived from plants, usually from yam or soy. They go through processing to extract the hormone, but at the end of that process, the chemical structure is identical to what your body naturally makes. So when it binds to a receptor in your body, it works exactly the same way. It's like a key that fits into a lock. Synthetic hormones, that's a different story. They're made in a lab and their chemical structure is not the same as what your body produces. So they may bind to the same receptors, but they don't interact in the same way. And that's why the effects are different, especially when it comes to the heart protection and brain protection and breast cancer risk. Not all hormones are equal, and that really matters in HRT. Now, I would be doing a disservice if I made it sound like HRT is for everyone, because it's not. There are situations where it needs to be carefully evaluated, and sometimes we need to work in conjunction with your specialist. Things like hormone-sensitive cancers or unexplained bleeding, a history of blood clots, these all matter. Your family history matters, your current medications matter, and the route of administration matters too. The way that you take it, it can change the risk. But here's what I want you to hear. Having risk factors doesn't automatically disqualify you. It means you need a medical provider who understands the difference between bioidentical and synthetic. Someone who can look at the full picture and build a plan that actually makes sense for you, not a cookie cutter protocol. And to be quite frank, there's a lot of that out there, unfortunately. So if any of this resonated with you, don't just sit on it. Have a conversation. Find a provider who specializes in hormone replacement therapy. Get your labs done. Ask the questions. And if you know someone who could benefit from this, share it with them. If you want to have a conversation, or if you're wondering whether HRT might be right for you, I am accepting patients in Connecticut at Blue Zone Health and Wellness. The details are on the website. And if you got something out of this episode, do me a favor, just hit that like button and subscribe. It actually helps a lot more than you think. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you next time.